Good morning, everybody. This is Dan at the National Weather Service in Raleigh. We'll go ahead and get started with today's briefing. First and foremost, hope everybody is doing well. I know it was a very busy week last week, especially the Thursday to Friday time period. The good news here right out of the gate is that I don't have anything to talk about that's anywhere as active as what we just went through. So by and large, it should be a pretty quiet weather week coming up here. So let's just jump right in. So the upcoming weather pattern for this week is going to feature, well, for the first few days, honestly, it's still going to feature the remnant low, formerly known as Tropical Storm or Hurricane Ian. That is actually sitting off the Delmarva coast at the moment. It's definitely nowhere near as impactful as it was a couple days ago. It's not a hurricane, it's not a tropical storm, it's just a remnant low. But it is going to continue to impact our weather here for the next couple of days. It's cloudy out there right now. There's some areas of drizzle. You may have seen that on your drive into work this morning, especially across the eastern half of the state. And pretty much what we saw today is what we're going to see tomorrow as well, with cloudy skies, very cool temperatures. The temperature right now is only in the lower 50s. It's going to be kind of rinse and repeat tomorrow, well below normal temperatures, cloudy, some areas of drizzle. To the west, though, out near the Triad and the western Piedmont, you do have a good chance of seeing some breaks in the clouds. And looking at satellite imagery now, there could be some amount of clearing, even trying to make it into Durham, Burlington. Winston-Salem is starting to break out now. So not all hope is lost for some breaks in the clouds and some sun today and tomorrow, but by and large, what you see today is what you get tomorrow, well below normal temperatures with a little bit of drizzle. Conditions will change though by the time we get to Wednesday. That upper low should move well offshore by the middle of the week, and as it does so, we're going to start to see temperatures rebound quite a bit, and actually by the time we get to Friday, we're going to be looking at temperatures in some spots in the upper 70s to low 80s. So a dramatic departure from what we're experiencing right now. We are going to see a cold front move through the area late in the week. That's what you see in the lower left panel there. That cold front's going to move through. At this point, it doesn't look like we're going to have any showers with that, hardly any precipitation whatsoever. So that front may just move through, bring some cooler, drier air with it without any rainfall, which is probably a good thing. We could use a little bit of time to dry out here. But cold frontal passage Friday evening, setting up a spectacular weather weekend coming up with an area of high pressure over the area. Temperatures will definitely be fall-like with that high as it moves over the area. We'll be looking at highs in the mid 60s, and it would not be surprising in the least if we had some upper 30s, maybe even mid 30s across the northern tier of counties near the Virginia state line. So again, I promised you the weather this week would not be anywhere near as active as what we just went through. So hopefully this slide kind of summarizes that. When you look at our forecast precipitation amounts on these maps here, you only see that lightest shade of green. And you really only see it today and maybe a little bit on Tuesday, but after that, it's just white across the board. The best chances of rain are today, tomorrow. Otherwise, it's going to be completely dry. And again, probably a good thing. We could use a couple of days here to dry out a little bit. Not surprisingly, no chance of excessive rainfall, so we can skip past that. And not surprisingly, since it's going to be dry, we're not expecting any severe weather. So that's certainly a good thing as well. Let's get to the slide everybody's probably interested in, the tropics slide. We do have two areas of interest that are being monitored by the Hurricane Center. The good news is neither of these pose an immediate threat to North Carolina. And by all accounts, none of the guidance is indicating either of these heading up in this direction either at all or anytime soon. You know, we always keep this bullet in here. Stay tuned for additional updates, but at least at this point, that big area of high pressure that's going to bring us cool fall-like weather this weekend, that's going to keep things suppressed way to our south. So no immediate concerns in the tropics. Of course, stay tuned, but things are looking good at this point. Skipping ahead a little bit to next week's forecast, Climate Prediction Center odds are tilted heavily in favor toward below normal temperatures. And that makes sense, right? Because early next week, we're still going to see the influences of that post-frontal area of high pressure across the area. So we're still going to be looking at temperatures probably in the 60s for highs and 30s and 40s for lows, which is well below normal for this time of year. And with that area of high pressure in control, the storm track is going to be displaced well to our south. So we're not going to be looking at any significant or noteworthy chances of rain even into the period next week. So summarizing, the remnant low, formerly known as Ian, that's going to continue to impact our weather a little bit for the next day or two. Cloudy skies, a little bit of drizzle across the eastern part of the state. If you're west of the triangle, you've got a much better chance of seeing some sun today and tomorrow. But everybody should start to see some sun by the time we get to Wednesday, as that low moves way offshore. As it does, though, we're going to start to see temperatures warm up as well. You're going to see highs in the mid to upper 60s Wednesday, mid 70s Thursday, probably close to 80 or even the low to mid 80s, depending on where you're at Friday. But then the bottom drops out Friday night into Saturday. Look for highs to be in the low to mid 60s with overnight lows. I don't want to say close to freezing. That might be a bit too pessimistic at this point, but certainly some of the coolest temperatures we've seen so far this season coming up this weekend.